Another beer.
Funny, so get there.
Oh, that looks cool.
Okay, so we're gonna change. So this is a collaboration with Four Hands and Narrow Gauge.
Oh, this is all Ron right here.
Fucking
Look
right.
at his face. He's like
Fucking Voltron lions and shit.
It's
I
like
mean,
now he's got
Yeah,
the
I
just
mean-
like
super
went in
hard
the
on.
little kid mode right there.
Who
I
doesn't?
fuck
Who
yes, I
doesn't
did.
like Transformers?
it's fucking Voltron. It's not Transformers. Get it right,
He's
bitch.
like, his face
Oh, there's a
lit up
difference?
completely.
Yes. One's owned by Hasbro,
He's
the
like-
other's not.
He's like, I want to drink kids' beer.
I do.
The main difference is this to me. I was the Voltron thing. It's more like Power Rangers than it is Transformers
It
to me.
is. It is.
It's definitely.
So this is Voltron beer. The can has a Voltron on it, and it's the Voltron Lions.
It's definitely hazy.
And I don't even know what style it is, but Voltron.
I should probably look
Yep.
at that.
His
It's
whole
Volume
face.
1, hazy, yeah, hazy IPA with Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy hops. So three of my favorite hops.
A basic IPA.
I figured whoever brewed this is probably someone, whoever came up with this and did this is probably someone that I would have a hell of a good time hanging out with because they were a nerd in my own vein.
A nerd in his main vein.
Well, I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen Ron's face light up so quickly.
It would only light up more quickly if it was an actual Transformers beer.
well, I mean,
If
somebody,
you put
at one,
boobs on the Transformers.
I mean, somebody did make a IPA once called Optimus Prime.
That's funny.
It had like a green Optimus on the can or something like that.
I feel like that sounds familiar, but at the same time, I don't know that I've ever seen it. Now I gotta go and look that up. Optimus Prime.
That does sound familiar to me also.
Like,
Number 3.
Four Hands is like my favorite brewery out there. Their IPAs are good.
So who's this one and where's it from?
Four Hands is out of St. Louis. It's actually right next to Busch Stadium. You can actually park there. Pay for $10. You can pay $10. I'll give you a beer coin and go inside, have a beer, and go to the ballpark.
Nice.
Have we had a Four Hands before?
That doesn't sound
Nothing I
familiar.
I
remember.
thought it sounded familiar to me.
Let's see.
Like maybe Blake brought it last time.
No, I have not brought Four Hands yet. Because they actually make a really good peanut butter chocolate stout. It was not the season for it, so.
It's definitely an IPA.
And then Narrow Gauge, I've
Where's
never.
mine? Is this one mine?
I'm not sure which
Yeah,
one.
whatever.
We've lost track. Hope you don't have herpes.
That's right.
You don't. If you
I
did-
do.
That's okay because I did too. So now you have my herpes and I have yours.
I did do my class.
Okay. Well, I probably got your herpes last time, so that's all good.
There we go. We share herpes on this
Yeah.
show.
That's true. We share. This is pretty good IPA.
Then
I thought, yeah, it's not so
I've never been
hoppy.
the Narrow Gauge, but I've heard about them and very good things about them. They're actually being underneath the Italian restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, I just haven't been there because their hours are kind of weird. Sometimes you get that as a brewery.
Well, let's see. This
There's
is a
not
volume
much.
one.
There's not much description.
There's no description on it. It's just Voltron, Defender of the Universe, and it's the actual Voltron logo. That's actually interesting to me.
It must be so old that it's not been like renewed.
No,
as
they renew the shit out of this one all the time. They
Oh,
keep
really?
making figures and shit like that. But it's actually the Voltron logo and the
Do-
whole thing. So I don't know if they decided they're small enough they can get away with it or what.
Do they actually?
Or if they actually give a fuck about copyright.
Well, no, I was gonna say, is it like a particular company, like the Voltron company? Do they actually redo their own shit, or is that like other companies that are just doing it because it's not a renewed copyrighted thing? If it's not renewed, anybody can go out and make it and make money off of it.
Well,
and
I
if
know-
if people are making new figures, then they can make a beer on
Well,
it
I
as
know
well.
it's all licensed shit that people do
Is
the
it?
figures of. Yeah, it's like it's a Japanese company like Toei Animation or some bullshit. I don't know who actually does Voltron. I know a Transformer shit more, but still, I fucking like it. My nerd self is happy.
This is actually the first in the 6-part series collaboration with the brewery.
Oh wow!
What are the other ones in there?
This is volume 1. I don't know.
So,
I was just out there, so
Oh, that's
they
cool.
must have just been the first one they did. It's actually a 7.5. So not strong, but it's strong enough where if you had a few of those, it will It'll creep you up.
You'll feel it after a bit.
Right.
Good
so,
IPA.
So it's definitely not crushable. I mean, you could crush it, but
You could crush a few of them, just a couple
You can
few.
crush them, but after crushing that second one, about 1.5 of these, you're going to be feeling good enough that you're going to slow down.
Right.
Or sometimes you don't, then you pay the price in the morning.
Right.
For those that have to work.
Yeah,
Our condolences, Blake.
it's okay.
I'm not usually like a huge IPA fan, but I really like this one. Sometimes like I'm hit or miss with them, I think.
I think it's pretty good, especially once you start drinking it. Before, it tasted like an IPA that just wasn't so hoppy, and now it's like tasting even less hoppy.
So
I
one of
love
the things about an IPA that's always interesting is their flavors definitely change from cold to warm. And
Yeah.
a lot of times when an IPA gets warm, they start tasting like absolute ass. This one ain't bad warm.
Yeah.
No, that's not bad at all.
It's not warm, but it's not cold.
Like when I brewed IPAs at home, one of the number ones I use is Galaxy because I love it.
Yeah, Galaxy Citra.
Mm-hmm.
The one I have at the one I brewed's got Citra and Amarillo hops.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
I'm hoping the Amarillo brings out what I tasted in the wort. The Amarillo was bringing out the spice of the pepper.
Oh, nice.
So, what it makes through fermentation. I hope that flavor profile stays.
Oh, yeah. Go story.
Good story. So the other night I was laying in bed.
And she woke up with ectoplasm all over her face, and there was somebody
Yeah.
running away.
That's exactly what happened, Ron. Ron, where were you the other night?
Ew.
It was a ghost. It's ectoplasm.
Like somebody licked my foot.
Are you sure it wasn't your dog?
Right.
Anyway, ghost story.
Anyway, I was laying in bed. Me and the cat have this ritual where we she comes to bed with me when I first go to bed, and we cuddle before I go to sleep. But like the other night, she was like staring in the hallway, like big time. She wouldn't stop. I'm like, hey, like trying to get her attention, and she like would not look at me or whatever. But the next night, I was sitting in my room watching a show or something, and I could swear I saw. Okay, so like the door was open, like. Because from my bedroom, you can see across to another bedroom, and that door is like open like halfway, so it's like 90-degree angle from the wall. And it looked like a little person walked across the doorway, like straight through that door. And I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, kind of just didn't think, it's kind of like maybe I just saw like my hair moving or, something.
You try to talk yourself out of it.
Like it looked like maybe a kid or like a dwarf or something like that walked across. I'm like, what the fuck? And it like kind of freaked me out. I kind of sat there and watched for a second because like, I don't know, it actually did look like somebody walked through there. But later on, I got in the shower and I was in there for maybe like a minute. And okay, so my shower curtain, I tried to talk myself out of this too. But anyway, like I'm sitting there, like I was in there for like a minute and like the shower curtain like pulled. And I was like, what the fuck? But I have one of those shower curtains that has pockets in it, and I have like bottles and stuff in there. I was like, well, maybe it got stuck up
bottle.
and the bottle like moved it,
Right.
which has never ever happened before. But
The things that you try to describe that just never actually happens.
yeah, but like it was weird because it was yanked, and I'm like, what the fuck? And like I had goosebumps. Like I was in a hot shower and I had fucking goosebumps, and for like 5 minutes they wouldn't go down.
So were you like freaked out, like fight or flight, frozen, or were you just like, the fuck's going on
I
here?
was just kind of like, what the fuck?
But you didn't actually say the fuck?
Probably, yeah. But, like, I don't know. I don't get too freaked out about stuff like that anymore. I'm just like, man, like, it's freaks you out a little bit. But then when I, like, went to bed, I was kind of, like, didn't want to turn the light off.
That kind of shit's all weird whenever that happens. It's like, you just don't know how to act.
Yeah, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Or what to expect.
See, me thinking I saw a little person going by right now, sitting here in the light of day saying, I would get the fuck up and be like, sup? And try to talk to it, but like, realistically, you're laying in bed without your glasses,
No, I have my glasses on.
But you're like, you're laying in bed and you're feeling, basically defenseless. You're like, oh God, I don't want to, what if it sees me? What if it's someone there? Oh God. It's like that weird, like.
Well, if it's someone there, I'm going to die. Today's the day.
Well, at one time I told you guys I saw something walk into my room. Me and the cat both saw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like she perked up and was watching, and I could see it like walk, and it walked maybe like 6 feet, and then it just disappeared.
You got the dead people.
I mean, how old's this farmhouse?
They said probably like 1860s, I think.
Somebody's definitely died here at some point in the family.
Probably.
I mean, my house was built in like 1905 or some shit, and I've told you I've seen shit in there. Then at one point, the kid and her boyfriend were in a room playing on some ghost board app. There was a ghost that said it wanted to kill Gabe, and I totally identify with that ghost.
I feel like the ghost board app is probably like the least likely to be legitimate on things like.
Still.
Anyway, we should go on a haunted road trip sometime.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Because, like, I'm on some group on Facebook. It's like an Ohio road trips, and I think I saw somebody post wanting to go to, like, haunted stuff or whatever, and there was, like, a whole shit ton. Did you know the Arcanum Opera House apparently is haunted?
Where's that? Obviously in Arcanum, but
yeah, I think it's
they have an
like,
opera house?
It's in their, it's like in their city building or something. I think it's like
They know what
on the top
opera
floor.
is?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the place, but I want to say it's like the top floor of their city building or something.
Grand Ole
But
Opry.
I saw the guy, I don't know if it's the guy that owned it or whatever, he's like, if you come here, I'll give you a tour of the place.
That's awesome. I feel like
And then she got ectoplasm all over.
I feel like
That guy had a cigarette afterwards.
a lot of old opera houses are supposed to be haunted. Like,
That makes sense.
I wonder-
That shit's creepy.
right, and I wonder what, like, is somebody always dying there, or is like is some weird tradition like we have to make somebody die here,
Maybe
we have
they
to
were
bury
so
somebody
passionate
here.
about what they did that's where they wanted to stay.
You got any good ghost stories, Blake?
No, not really. I mean, I went to school that was buried on the old cemetery in Troy.
That's pretty cool.
That
And
is
when
cool.
they expanded it, like maybe 15 years ago or something like that, I can't remember. That when they were digging, they still found bones.
Oh, that's awesome.
They expanded.
That's awesome. I bet like the kids have some like crazy stories now.
No, it was not while the kids were there, sadly. But
No. What I'm saying is like after the fact, word about that shit gets out. The
Like,
kids like
disturb the...
it's like you're disturbing the Indian burial ground or something.
Yeah. And so,
I used to watch Ghost Hunters on Sci-Fi. I'd never forget when they actually went to Kings Island itself.
oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they actually walked Kings Island because there was like an ammunition plant on that exploded.
Oh, cool. I did not know
And
that.
there's also a little cemetery when you come into the Kings Island Drive.
Well, I know if you take like that train, there's like they gave some stories about that, but I don't ever take the train.
Then, because I guess she's called like Missouri Jane.
Yeah.
And that tower guy, Jimmy Tower or something that fell
Hmm.
in the 80s.
Did you mix those all up?
They were mixed up before. I don't know which one was which when they got handed to you.
They were like in order.
But
I want you guys' herpes for real.
like, what I'm going to tell you, I'm not pleased with myself. I think I was in high school. They took me over Crybaby Bridge in Troy, almost like panic attack because I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Man,
There's a
like
crybaby bridge in Troy.
there's
Yeah,
a fucking
there's a Crybaby Bridge in every city.
there's
Right.
a crybaby bridge in every town, in every city, in every state in this little stupid country of ours. If there's a bridge, that fucking place has even if it's just like a dry, dusty bridge to go over a slight gully.
Right.
It's a crybaby bridge.
Yeah.
To somebody it
But
is.
the bridge that has always freaked me out when my friends and I used to go joyriding was this bridge in Covington. It's a one-lane. I forget where it is in Covington, but it's a one-lane bridge, and it's one. I
I
don't
think
know
I
where
know
it's
what
at.
you're talking about.
It was in the dark, so I haven't been back since. But it just something about that just always freaked me out.
So Blake's scared of crybaby bridge. Fair enough.
It was. I don't.
Hey, certain things like that are super freaky.
There's stuff that'll like stick with you like that from when you're a kid. That'll always be like forever.
But I never did well with Insidious movies either. I never did well with them. I could watch them, but the next night, no.
I like creepy shit like that, and I feel like I don't know. I was gonna say something about
But I have a supervisor that goes ghost hunting all the time.
I want to say back in the day,
right.
like back in the day out of high school on Sunday nights, how often we tried going and finding haunted shit.
Right, we did.
All the fucking time.
We were always doing, along with that. So we always went out late at night to try to do like haunted shit, and we were just always kind of like going around, like just exploring random places. But so me and Logan, we've been jogging and stuff recently, and working out. So I went to the Richmond Park, and I was going along like that side of that area at the park, and I was like, dude, me and Ron used to come down here, and there was like this open area that we'd go down into, and there was like that big tunnel area, and I couldn't, I know the general location, but I just couldn't find it.
It was like a railroad tunnel that goes up, that's just off where that lake lets out.
Yeah, and so I was telling Logan, I'm like, dude,
This is in Richmond, Indiana, at the fucking, was it Golden Gate Park or whatever the fuck they call it?
And so I was told, because like you and me, we were trying to find like this supposed homeless village where a shit ton of homeless people lived, and they made their own like
society and shit
out of like an abandoned. I kind of was like under the impression it was supposed to be abandoned houses or like a little abandoned area or abandoned building. And we went down there several times walking around, and I feel like we went down there in the middle of the night because I remember having lots of like lights and flashlights and stuff to light the way, because you go through a tunnel and then it's like really it's like a creek, and so we're walking along this creek and we
go through a creek, and then there was another tunnel.
And it was really, really shallow. Like, there's just rocks that you could stand on. You don't get wet feet. We didn't have to have any special boots.
Well, there was like one side where it was low, where the creek ran. There was another side where it was raised. It was just, concrete.
Right.
And then I remember when we get out of like after 2 or 3 of those tunnels, suddenly we're just sitting in some dude's backyard.
I don't really remember the end, but I'm like, this is not for real. I was like, I did not find what I was looking for, and I was really like pissed off. But I also remember like there was like that weird ass like tower in the back of Richmond that we went by, and we were like snooping, and I don't know where we went through, but we just ended up finding some weird path, and then it took us out to the back of IU East.
Yeah, we went down the I know that shit. So there is a bike trail that runs up the river there in Indiana, Whitewater River, and the thing just runs along for miles and miles and miles. There was a tower that we found that was just out in the middle of nowhere. So years later, when I went to college, I had a jazz history class because I was required to take some like arts credits and shit. They were talking about the different history of Richmond and Richmond's great contributions to jazz in the 30s and shit. That tower used to be a part of a record stamping plant.
Okay.
And in the last, I don't know, I went to college probably about 15, 20 years ago now, but they actually took that tower, that whole building, and retrofitted it and turned it into a part of a park.
I think I've been there since then, because it does seem really familiar, and you can go in the bottom of it, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember, because me and Jess went hiking out, like, in the area. We were looking for some special falls that's in that, like, that area.
Yeah. But, yeah, so it was, it was a big, and they named, at the time, the class, they named, like, tons of jazz greats from the 30s and 40s and all this other stuff. And then, like a lot of things in Richmond, when Richmond blew up, all that stuff kind of went by the wayside because just Richmond's economy went to shit after that. Because all the stuff downtown blew up. There was, like, some major gas leak or something.
Oh, weird.
I don't know. I just remember as a kid from, like, all the old family members going, and when Richmond blew up, and that problem, that's lifted from when Richmond blew up, and it was pretty much the entire downtown of Richmond blew up.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it's not the first time it's blown up.
Yeah, well, blown up, caught fire, had a toxic
I was going to say, didn't it have a catch fire here recently?
Oh, yeah, it did. I forgot about that.
It was
the recycling
the metal
plant,
place. Yeah.
The recycling plant caught fire because the guy that owned it just kept taking plastic and just packed it everywhere. And it was a fucking tinderbox, and one of the outbuildings caught fire, just burned the whole thing to the ground. And, like, the city of Richmond was like, yeah, fuck that guy, he definitely did this, even though the city of Richmond was buying the property off the guy slowly. There's a lot of, like, crazy paranoid shit I've heard about the city of Richmond. But recently...
It just has weird things about it.
Well, like, when I was driving around yesterday going to my parents, I had it on, like, boring old people news. But it was, like, NPR talking about, like, the fire in Richmond. Apparently the guy that owns the building is now blaming Richmond for the fire because they were buying most of it and they just hadn't finished buying it off of them, and it was their fault.
It's their fault. They were buying it and they were negligent to find out what I was actually doing with it before I sold it to them.
Well,
Fuckers. That's funny. So we ready for our last beer?
Well, what do we want to rate?
Oh, yes, that's right. We didn't rate it and we didn't describe it. So, So I'll give it a 3.
I also think a 3.
I'm going with a 4 because fuck you, Voltron.
4.
It was
I go 4.
creamy smooth IPA.
Yes.
I feel like, yeah, it did have a smoothness to it for an IPA. Light for an IPA.
It definitely didn't have nearly as much of that bitter penny IPA kind of a thing
No.
going on that just kind of ruins them for you.
Right.
This one was hazy, right?
Yeah, it was a little hazy. I feel like IPAs need to, like, they have to be required to do, like, the IBU on it or something.
Bitterness level.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I guess it is smooth, creamy, light, hazy, and 3, 3, 4, 4.
All I can say is give me about 3 or 4 of those. I'll chug them. And I'm going to go find me some Voltron lines around and go wreck up some shit.
Dude, he won't. He'll be so fucking wasted that he'll just fall asleep.
So we got like 4 of us right now. We need one more person. One of those dogs is going to fly a Voltron line, okay?
That's great.
We're all going to merge and we're going to get all fucked up and we're going to be a Voltron just fucking up the countryside.
That would be
Hell
funny.
yeah. I'm in.
Sure thing.
I'll be like,
Shit up.
form blazing sword. And then you guys are like, form giant nerd.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
And then we just all looking for one.
Hell yeah.
misBEERhavior!
Like, subscribe, share.